Hi, I'm Natalia Nicholson, founder of Women in Digital Business, where we empower underrepresented women to thrive in the digital world. So welcome to the Women in Digital Business weekly lunch and learn. Welcome everybody. Like I said, please do use the chat to introduce yourself so I know who is here with me. Every single Tuesday, we come to you with a different masterclass to really help you in your digital journey to make sure that you can get visibility online and really be able to push forward. So with that said, let's get started. So let me share my screen. Right, guys, so welcome today to the 60-minute profit path. So this is all about time management for entrepreneurs. So as we get started this lunchtime, and then those of you that don't know me, my name is Natalia Nicholson and I'm the founder of Women in Digital Business. Okay, so what we want to do today is we want to look at setting goals. We want to look at time management mastery, prioritizing self-care, cultivating consistency, personal development and community building. All really key things in terms of really being able to get ahead. Like I said, when I kicked this session off, there's so much moving parts. You know, first of all, you've got to brand yourself, you've got your social media channels, then you've got your website. Some of you have got platforms that, you know, your courses or your content might be on. You know, the whole content and how you are visible online is just one area within itself. Then you've got to think about, you know, how am I going to warm relationships up? How am I going to build my email list? You know, I'm going to start writing a blog. I'm going to gain more visibility by maybe doing a podcast. You know, you've got all these things to do and we haven't even got on to customers actually even coming in yet. Once you've got that, it's just another added layer. Plus some of us have got families, we've got community commitments. Some of us are still bootstrapping and freelancing and contracting. Some of us are still working part-time, full-time. Some of us are in our business and really trying to figure out how do I get more customers when I can barely just service the customers that I've got. Okay, so there's an awful lot going on. So, you know, with that, you have to be very clear on what am I doing this for? Like, how many of you here lose a point sometimes of why you're even doing something? And you just feel you can reach a period of time where you just start to feel lost, for want of a better term. Okay, and that's what we want to avoid happening. We want to avoid you feeling lost. So, you know, most of you would know about SMART objectives, but they really are a great framework for you to be able to focus on. If you want me to be honest with you, it keeps you focused, it keeps you grounded, and it just reminds you all the time to keep your eyes on the prize and understand what you're going for. Goal setting is just so absolutely key. So SMART stands for, I can't get the words out today. You know, SMART stands for being Pacific. Okay, we always have to be Pacific in what we're doing because we need to clearly define the goal in a Pacific and focused manner. Just saying I want to be wealthy, just saying I want generational wealth, just saying, you know, I just want the bare minimum, it's enough. Just saying I want my children to be happy, you know, just saying I want to serve an audience and make sure they're all right, it's not enough. You know, you have to be very specific on the goal. Like, what is it that you want? Is it that this year you want to make 30,000, help 20 people, make sure your children excel in a certain area, start a family, maybe become a community leader, be able to help other people, travel? I don't know, but be specific. Okay, your business is what's going to give you the life that you want, and essentially all of us here are here to help other people as well. We've all got a greater cause and a greater purpose, and sometimes that cause and purpose can pull you into so many different directions. So be specific. Make sure what you do, especially in this digital age, is measurable. So establish concrete criteria or indicators to measure progress. If you say you want to help, you know, 50 people, how many people is that per month? How are you going to do that? What type of people do you want to help? What's the outcome that you want them to have? How are you going to do it? And whatever those questions are, you need to be able to measure it. That way you can say, I'm on track, or I'm behind, I need to catch up X amount to get to where I need. It's really important that we score and we're measuring all the time, especially in this digital age. You don't need to follow loads of people anymore and get their advice on how to grow your business. Once you've set a really great user journey for your potential customer out, what you need to do is track it. If you track it, that will tell you what you should be doing more of, not working on somebody else's mission because they've said, I've done it, you do it too. It doesn't work like that. Measuring in this digital age and looking at the data is what enables you to grow. That's how we've seen the growth of Boohoo, Nasty Gal. If you look at a lot of the big e-commerce fashion brands that have come out, they've skyrocketed overnight, which took ASOS decades to do. They've done that because of the data. So measure what you said you want to do and understand, am I on track? What do I need to do to get back on track? What do I need to do more of, less of? Okay? Is it achievable? Ensure that the goal is realistic and achievable within the given time constraints. And every entrepreneur, that's one of our problems, especially with the shiny object syndrome. A lot of entrepreneurs, and I'm definitely guilty of this, have got this thing where it's okay, I'm going to spread the risk. Okay, I'm going to spread the risk by, if I've got multiple streams of income, it means if one doesn't work out, the other one, will come in. And the problem with that is that you can't be specific. You just broke the first rule. And I'm not saying that you've only got to have one thing, but you do need to make sure that the goal that you've got is realistic and achievable in the constraints given. Because we've got some big goals. I know that I've started years off when I was younger. I'm like, yeah, I'm making 7 figures this year. I'm going straight to the million. And didn't have a clear actionable plan or strategy on how I got there. And it's strategy and sales funnel that is what changed my life. If you want to be honest with you, that's when I really started to make money. You want to make sure you've got relevancy. Ensure that the goal is relevant and aligned with the broader objectives, priorities, and values of the individual or your business or organization. Relevancy is key. I spent many years knowing that I had a gift to help people, but couldn't understand how to put that into a messaging that was relevant for my audience. So literally, I'm like rearing to go. And when I'm in a classroom, I get to help like hundreds of people, and people connect with me. They're like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't anybody just explain it to me like that? I get it now. And I'm able to really help people. The problem is that prior to getting them into the classroom or prior to training or consulting or coaching, the problem that I had is that I had no relevancy to my audience. And what I mean by that is that what I was trying to say that I can help people with, because of my messaging, they couldn't align their need with mine. Okay, so ensure the goal is relevant and aligned with broader objectives. And I think for many of us, it's a real problem, that relevancy, meaning we all offer a product or a service, but it's understanding how are we relevant to the audience and making them understand that we solve a pain point that's relevant to them, not to us, because we're seeing things through the eyes of an entrepreneur. So make sure it's just relevant, to the wider objective of your marketplace, of your customers, and also your priorities and values. They have to align, okay? And time bound. This is another big one. That whole, I'm going to be 7 figures in a year. Ooh. Understand, is it realistic to do in the time that I've planned out? In this day and age, we live in the microwave age, meaning everybody wants everything instantly. We want to go from poor to rich. We want to go from, fat to thin. I'm not being rude, by the way. We just want to go from one extreme to another. And sometimes we don't take into account that things take time. The average expert in any field is going to take anything from about 7 to 10 years. Sometimes it can be quicker. I'm not saying that it's an exact science, but whether you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a surgeon, you're a digital expert, you're a psychologist, you're a therapist, you're a coach in any of your given fields, understand that as time goes on, you get more experience and you become an expert. So be realistic with time frames and just, have a clear understanding of, okay, realistically, how long is it gonna get for me to get there? But at the same time, you can still put measurables and goals and, things into place that you're hitting targets as you're on that journey. I'm not trying to say it's going to take 5-7 years and you're not going to create any impact, no clients, no change in people's lives or making wealth. Just be realistic with whatever project you've got, that actually the time that it will take you to do it, put it off and do it successfully is realistic. Because we live in this world where everything is instant. Just think of the culture, in the 80s, everything was about, having more babies, women being at home. You can have babies, you can do X, Y, and Z, where give you microwavable dinners. Everything, Netflix, everything you have seen revolutionize in the marketplace today gives us time back and gives us convenience and get things done faster. So because of that mindset mentality, we want everything faster. Okay, so goal setting, just some practical examples. 2 years ago, realised the potential of having a side hustle and made the decision to start one. So sometimes for some of us, being at ideology stage, we can kind of get stuck there and fall into the cycle of procrastination. 1 year, set financial goals and determined a plan on how to achieve it. This is when you get serious. It's like, okay, I've got the social media, I'm posting, I'm doing all this stuff, but oh my God, where's the money? I'm not making anything. I've got bills to pay. And you're starting to see the time go away, but you're not starting to see the financial rewards. So set a financial goal and determine, how will I achieve this using those SMART objectives? Okay, really, really important. 6 months ago, I identified a profitable niche and researched competition. Again, one of my problems with messaging and finding my audience and really building my business in the beginning was having so many different audiences. I only understood what a target audience was. I didn't understand that within a target audience, you've got many different customer segments and you can't have the same messaging for everyone. So as much as we're all churning out content, if you're not clear on who the content's for and who your customer segment's for, it's almost like you're just doing it for posting's sake and you don't get the results. So, you really want to identify profitable niches, and everything is about niching because there's so many channels out there. Gone are the days where you've only got 4 channels on TV and you're now putting programming or content out to the masses. There's so many different tribes, communities, channels that actually you can be very specific on who you're targeting. Okay, so identify profitable niche and research your competition. A lot of times we wander around lost and in the dark and thinking, well, I haven't started, I don't know the answer, so I'm just going to try everything. If you research what your competition does, that will give you a really good idea of how to get ahead and save a lot of time making errors. Again, I learned this one the hard way as well. We're in the digital age, ladies. Intelligence is all around us. You've got software alone that can tell you exactly, what your competition keywords are, how much they bid on them, how much they spend on social media or Meta. You can go and look at their campaigns. You can see what customers think about them. There's so much you can get from research and competition in this digital age. It's absolutely unreal. So when you're setting goals, it becomes easier to set SMART goals if you can benchmark against other businesses, other people that are doing the exact same thing as you, or maybe someone or a business that's much bigger than you that you want to get to. Okay, look at their journey and figure out this is how they got there, and actually, taking on board their learnings or looking at X, Y, and Z, I can get there by doing X better. Does that make sense? We don't have to always recreate the reel. And present. If you haven't started on any of these things that I'm talking about, just get started. Sorry, ladies, imperfection is better than nothing. Sometimes we wait so much for perfection that we just don't start something. Okay, and whether it's starting something, whether it's saying I'm going to level up, I'm going to scale my business, I'm going to introduce X, Y, and Z, irrespectively of what it is, putting content out, being more confident and doing more video footage, whatever it is, just start. It doesn't need to always be perfect. Someone asked me the other day, what would you go back and tell your younger self? And there's 2 things that I tell my younger self. 1, you might think you've got all the time in the world, but you don't. I can say that because of my age. And 2, stop waiting for perfection. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Because you'll get better and better and better once you start doing it. Practice makes permanent. So once you're Pacific, it's now really looking at time management mastery. And time management, I think, is something that all us women struggle with. They say that we're the best multitaskers out of male and female. What they don't tell us is the stress and anxiety that comes with having to multitask. Oh my gosh, there are days where it's like I'm managing a team, I'm trying to get ahead, I'm pushing the business to next levels. I've got my kids saying, mummy, mummy, mummy. I've got my husband telling me all you do is work. I've got my mum that I look after that's down the road. It's like, stop kidding yourself, you stop working so much. I've got all this self-care, self-love coming at me, love yourself, be more kinder to yourself. And I'm like, but the time. and that alone can just become overwhelming. So for time management, if you want me to be honest with you, you're just going to have to juggle this one the best you can. I don't think that there's a lot of books that I've read, there's a lot of things that I do that definitely help with time management, and you need to introduce them. They help massively, but you're always going to have those days where you feel like that, and I think there has to be a level of acceptance around that. But on a serious note, these are some of the things that have really genuinely helped me. Okay, importance of time management. Without time management, you're never going to achieve your goals, because you need that rhythm, that momentum. that rhythm of getting things done every day. Little by little, you build your power. Just doing one thing a day is going to make a whole lot of difference of you getting to that end goal. Constantly putting things off, not having enough time, being stressed out, all it's doing is putting you further behind the goals that you've got. So the eat the frog technique is just the best technique ever. Okay, you want to tackle the most difficult tasks first, basically. First thing in the morning, it increases your productivity throughout the day. That feeling of yes. And even for me, sometimes I'd also tackle it at the end of the day because I just go to bed with this big smirk on my face. But, tackle the most difficult tasks first. That's me. Just get it out the way. Start with the morning, the spring in your step that you'll get, because you've got the biggest, draggiest thing out the way first, okay? Also, it just reduces stress and anxiety because you know that the worst thing is done. Okay, because the most difficult thing that you were going to have problems with, you've now just completely and utterly got it out of the way. So that's just like a really great place to be. Okay, you want to prioritize the important tasks. So make better use of your time by getting the important tasks out of the way. Sometimes we focus on the urgent tasks. Ladies, if I speak completely transparent with you, a lot of times I will just, if I'm really overwhelmed and I've got loads of things to do, I'm quite focused on the things that I'm going to need to do and the things that make me money. Okay, sometimes we put some urgency on things that aren't really going to change your position or get you any closer to your goals. So understand the difference between importance and understand the difference between urgent. And that whole, by the way, before I go back, the Eat the Frog, that is a book by Brian Tracy. Look it up. I think when you start to take time management really seriously, you'll be surprised how productive you are. Like my Google Calendar, if you look at it, at first you'll be like, whoa, that's a lot. But I schedule everything in there down to every morning at 9 o'clock. I have a reflection time. For 15 minutes, I just reflect on my day and how I'm going to drive that forward. Okay? So the book's by Brian Tracy. Have a look it up. Just some time management tips. Make a plan. If you don't plan, your plans fail. Your plan will never go according to plan, but at least if you've got a plan, you can now navigate in the direction that you need to, and it's a lot more easier to pivot. So make a plan, whether it's a to-do list or something else, it will make it easier. Guys, make sure you're using digital tools. I literally couldn't live without Slack and Asana. So whether it's Asana, Trello, Monday, Notion, those are like your top management tools for tasks, and especially if you've got a team, it makes them a lot more productive, and it means it's easier for you to manage your team members as well. So you want to make a plan and have a software that's going to help you manage that plan. You want to prioritize tasks, determine the priority scale from the most important. This will make the work a lot more easier. And like I said, for me, it is like, okay, if I don't get these TikTok videos out that's going to promote the summit coming up, no one's going to come to the summit, and that's going to damage my brand, and it's also going to damage the amount of money I make. It makes sense? So I'm going to prioritize that task. Me not coming back to someone maybe of a brand partnership document that I haven't done, that is for 6 months down the line, but they're pressurizing me. I might just drop a quick note to say, just really overwhelmingly busy at the moment. Bear with me. I'll definitely be coming back to you by X, Y, and Z, because I like to, if you just manage people's expectations. So you really want to prioritize tasks. And like I said, you want to differentiate that urgent to important. You want to focus on the work, don't get distracted and change the schedule that's being made. I'm a sucker at doing this. Like my team will tell you, they ask for videos all the time. And I'm like, I didn't get a chance to do it, but I'm ruining my own personal brand. The more videos I do, the more that I will connect with people, the more that people would know me, and it's the bigger that I would grow. But sometimes my focus isn't there with that. So focus on the work and don't get distracted. There's so many times I say, this afternoon, I'm just going to be shooting videos. And for whatever reason, because I just don't get around to doing it. Set a time limit, make the deadline for work so that the work can be done and completed quickly and on time. Don't multitask too much. Try and focus on one thing at a time. Even if you swap, be aware that you're swapping and you're in and out of and what it is that you've got to do for the day. Multitasking can cause you to do some real crazy things. Do you know the other day, I was looking for my phone and I was on my phone. Okay, that's the crazy things that you'll start doing, just like, when you start multitasking too much, because your head just feels like it's going to come off. And rest enough, another bad one that I find difficult, but I'm very aware of it. I will burn out. I will do 3-4 nights on 2-3 hours sleep to get stuff done, and then I crash. And when that crash comes, it actually just puts me further behind. And this is something that I'm working really hard on. So I'm going to keep it real. All these tips aren't just like easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. They're not. They require work. And I think the rest enough has come from me. I'm a natural night owl. I've had to force myself to become a morning person, and actually I'm more productive and get more rest just by going to bed early and getting up earlier. So, honestly, guys, make sure you're resting enough. Oh, there we go. I thought, I can't get to the next slide. That key concept, you've heard me mention this quite a lot already, by the way, urgent versus important. So in the book that I told you, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, it discusses the importance of prioritizing tasks based on urgency and importance. So he really suggests focusing on the important tasks first, even if they're not urgent, to avoid becoming overwhelmed and to achieve your goals, your longer term goals. Trust me, ladies, you will always find the important things are the things you put to the back burner, and the urgent things are the things that you attend to. I've got to clear my email box out. I've got to get back to people. X, Y, and Z called me. If anybody is true to you, some of my friends know I am an absolute nightmare in terms of calling and sometimes returning messages. If it's urgent or life-threatening or you need me, I'll be there. But day to day, I've had to really be quite strict, if you want me to be honest with you, in terms of, okay, what is urgent and what is important. I need to get the important stuff done because the important stuff is what is bringing me closer to my goals. Okay, makes sense? They're the things that are, making this business grow, changing people's lives that work within my business, giving me more visible profile, getting us into different areas. The urgent things are actually the day-to-day things that don't tend to do that. So if you haven't, just go and check out and look at check out the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy and just kind of decipher, okay, what's important and what's urgent in my world. 44% of time is wasted. Okay, that's a lot. And time is something that hopefully you're sitting here listening to me and you're about to finish the sentence with me. I say it to my children all the time. Time is the one thing you will never, ever get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's not going to come back. So 44% of the time being wasted on things that are not important is dangerous. Make sense? So things such as mindless web browsing, social media scrolling, meaningless meetings, a meeting about a meeting about a meeting. Like now, if I go to a meeting, I want to be really clear, like, what is the objective? Like, what is it we're getting out of that meeting? If I can't see the objective, I'll even suggest, I think X, Y, and Z needs to be done, and then can we meet? Because we'll get more out of it. Sometimes it is nice to have web browsing because you just need a minute out of your day to have some escapism. But it's funny, I work in digital marketing. Funnily enough, I'm not on social media very often. And actually, when I am on social media, I deliberately follow people and things and trends. That means that my feed is filled with things that fill up my mind and fill up my spirituality and fill up my soul. Okay, your timelines and that scrolling we do you know we scroll on average 2.8 miles a day? Can you believe that? Every time I hear it, I'm like, wow. I make sure my feeds are filled with content that will do nothing but lift up my vibration, inspire me, help me, grow me, give me more knowledge. I'm quite strict on who I follow, making sure that the algorithms of platforms pick up on what I need to help me move forward. So try not to waste too much time on social media. Okay, 80-20 rule. 80% of output comes from 20% of input. Fact. Therefore, focus on the most important task and prioritize them first. And there's a book about the 80-20 rule. Read it, guys. It's life-changing. Okay, the 80-20 rule works in every single situation in life. And I'm not going to get into it because it's just like a whole nother masterclass. 52-minute work day, 52-minute work day, wouldn't that be great? 52-minute work, 17 breaks. So the optimal work to rest ratio is 52 minutes of work and 17 minutes of rest is the ratio. So taking breaks produces productivity. So just focus on your energy levels. There's times when I feel my energy levels are low. That's in the point of the day that I might do something that isn't so taxing. Does that make any sense? Or I might check or read something, believe it or not, even though I'm having to read and use my brain. Does that make sense? It's more of a, I'm not on the keyboard mad, or I'm not in a meeting trying to motivate, lead, inspire, or give tasks out to. And sometimes it's just about taking that minute in the day. Sometimes you just need that time to just be able to just like process your day, process what's happening to you, process what's about to come next, and maybe just have that tea or coffee and just be like, okay, what next? And that's when a lot of times I will use this to just like reevaluate where I am in my day and what I can get done. Okay, so goal setting. So just from the past to present timeline, you want to set a specific goal and break them down into smaller, more manageable tasks. Okay, you want to be able to prioritize tasks and focus on completing the most important ones first in order to really maximize that productivity. Time blocking is key. Like I said, if you look at my calendar, I time block everything down to my reflection time for 15 minutes, down to like a coffee break if I've had like 3 meetings back to back. Like, and there's always times that you're going to break rules. Like today, would you believe me if I told you that I'm training, speaking and coaching since 9:30 this morning and I finish at 5:30 with absolutely no breaks? So now I'm going to let you know, even for this session, I'm probably going to scale back and then 10 minutes earlier because I need to have that time block to have a coffee, get my mindset in the right space to go on and do another session. Okay, so time blocking just involves scheduling, and sometimes you've got to be realistic. I don't do days like today very often. It's just unfortunate that my schedule's a bit grueling this week. But I'm just saying, be specific about the block of time. So I already know that because the amount of classes that I've gotten there back to back, I've scaled all my classes back today just by 10 minutes and blocked it out just so I can have that ratio that we just said, the 17 minutes to the 53. Make sense? 53, 57, I can't count. So time blocking is really important, and put it out in your diary. When you start to see everything you do in your diary and what you've got planned for a day, down to reflection time, getting a quick coffee and having that breather, you start to think, whoa, wowzers. You know, it starts to put it into perspective on, you know, how fast moving and pacing that your life is as an entrepreneur. You know, having to deal with just the emotions. Sometimes I'm in meetings, things happen to me as a woman of colour where I just want to reflect on what's happened. If I look at my diary, I've got to move on. So time blocking makes things more relevant because you soon start to see that's unrealistic what I'm doing. Okay, elimination of distractions. You want to identify and eliminate distractions that hinder productivity, such as social media or excessive breaks. Sometimes, you know, I'm at home and I'll be speaking to my husband and we're getting to a really conversation and the banter's there, but that excessive break has now penalised for what I need to get done for the rest of the day, as lovely as that time was. So, you know, we've had to say in our house, right, we've got to have date nights or schedule out quality time because otherwise it can easily hinder your productivity. Does that make any sense? Even down to distractions, you know, my neighbour knocking on the door, oh, where's some stuff for the kids? Next thing I get chatting to her, she starts talking about her celiac problems and what she's eaten. Next thing you know, I've had like, you know, 20, 30 minutes going. You know, like I said, the social media, getting distracted, following certain news items or, you know, things that are trending or happened in the world. You know, these are all things that sometimes will pop up in your day and they will put you back. So it's about being really strict. Sometimes I will see my phone ring, and especially if I'm in a high vibration, on a roll, that might be someone that's a little bit lower vibration and I know they're going to need something from me. I'll do that call later. I'll call back later. Once upon a time, we didn't actually always answer the phone every single time it rang. If you was working or you weren't in the house, you wouldn't even know someone would ring. Do you not remember those days where you used to get an engaged home? You'd have to wait for someone to get back in. So just eliminate those distractions. And we all know it. You've got to prioritize self-care. Okay, this is the one that I laugh at the most. If you really want me to be honest with you, I'm going to keep it real. I know this, but sometimes I just feel to myself, I feel like you've just got to suck it up. And when you get to that moment that you know you need self-care because it's crashing down, you've got to understand to take it. Does that make any sense? But sometimes we're not really clear on actually what is self-care. Now, self-care is a broad concept that encompasses various practices and activities that individuals undertake to maintain and improve their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. I'm going to say it again, physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So I think we need to remember that it encompasses all three: everything on the outside, everything on the inside, and everything in your soul and how you're feeling. It's just an essential aspect of living a balanced and healthy life, especially in today's fast-paced world. And some days you might get the physical win, other days not so much. Make sense? Other days you might get the mental, the spirituality. Other days it might be the emotional. But I think self-care is self-awareness. I think it's about being aware of all those things and making sure you're taking them when you need them, because they're not always the easiest things to schedule in as women. But the benefits of self-care are great. Enhance mental health. So maintaining mental health is just crucial for reliance and emotional stability. And I think in previous generations, especially as Black women, quite often it's just like we've seen that pull up, shut up, get on with it mentality from our parents and other generations, and we do that as well. You've got to take the time out sometimes just to process, so you can have the mental, well-being to be able to continue and keep high vibration. High vibration's key. It benefits of self-care. It reduces stress and burnout. Regular self-care just provides opportunities to relax, rejuvenate, and disconnect from the world and related pressures. For me, it's massages. If I'm getting to that point, last weekend my sister just did the most nicest thing for me. I drove my mum to all the way where she lives, which is quite far. When I got there, she'd actually booked me a massage, and do you know how nice it was to take an hour out of my day and just stop? No phone, no mum, no my mum, no business, no my team, no my husband, no my friends, and just have a moment where there is absolutely nothing to disturb me. I literally felt like a new woman. And I vowed as well, and I said, you know what, once a month I have to do this for myself. I have to do this for myself and just have that shut-off period. So it looks like different things for different people, okay? Improve physical health. Good physical health is crucial for the stamina needed to manage any business, a side hustle effectively. All the things we've got going on. Physical health is absolutely key. When you get those endorphins going and you do any form of exercise, especially, my advice to you on this, ladies, is going for walks in nature. I'm telling you that being out in nature God made this green, beautiful earth to us for a reason. It wasn't to put great concrete buildings in it. Getting out in nature and being able to breathe and move, it's going to improve your mental and your physical health. If you're not a jogger, it's fine. It can be a walk, but try to get out in nature. Try to have that time in that moment to yourself. And trust me when I tell you, ladies, I need to take my own advice on this one. I do it, but not often as much. And sometimes running these sessions are actually a reminder for me. You want a better work-life balance. So self-care is a really critical component in achieving that healthy work-life balance. It's really funny. My family would say I work all the time. What they don't realise is that I put them first, and when I'm doing stuff for them, I'm still working. If any of you can relate to me on that, drop it in the comments. But we have to figure out how to get that work-life balance and how to introduce, whether it's the massage, the walk, something that just gives you that time where it's just you. Someone actually suggested, 3 people have actually suggested to me in the last week that I should think about maybe like going to a hotel, like just all by myself and having an evening out. And the more that I'm growing in all areas of my life, I can really see the benefit of that. And it's something I'm going to try. If anybody's got any tips of self-care tips that they've got, please do drop it into the comments. So self-care checklists, create a morning routine. Ladies, if there's any book that I would say that was life-changing spiritually and in terms of time management and getting more things done and really being able to move with my goals and help me get to that next level where I really scaled, it's a book called Miracle Morning. Team, if you're on this call, please do drop it in the chat, and on the replay, please do drop it into the comments. If anybody's got any great morning routines that they do or they follow, or anybody that they follow online, or other books that they've read, make sure you drop it into the comment box, please. Sharing is caring. That's my thing, and that's why we've got this community. So make sure you create a morning routine. And like I said, the life-changing thing for me was Miracle Morning. Listen to an inspiring podcast. Listen to an inspiring playlist of music. Like, I will always love the track Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. It will always just lift my spirits. Okay, I love gospel type music to put me in that inspiring mode. Again, any songs that you've got that really inspire you, drop it in. If you haven't heard or you don't know what I'm talking about with the Sounds of Blackness and the Optimistic, please do go and look that track up. Terry Garman, I Need a Blessing. Another one of mine. Oh my gosh, that song makes you feel like you can move mountains. Share. It doesn't have to be a gospel song. It could be many other things. I love an Afro beat. If I'm in a walk and sometimes, I'm going on a jog, I want something really upbeat because I'm going through, because I'm getting that frustration out. And so whether it's listening to an inspiring podcast, maybe, it's music, whatever the case may be, does that make any sense? Do something inspiring. Eat something healthy. Unfortunately, we live in a world now where these corporations, these supermarkets, they feed us food that's got no nutritional value. We know it, but quite often we're not following through. So this isn't nothing to do with a weight thing or anything like that. Just eat something healthy. Eating something healthy often makes me feel good. Okay. Meditation. Meditation is also a part of the Miracle Morning routine. It's really funny. I struggle with meditation, just to let you know. I do meditate, but even 10 minutes for me is a really long time. Some people, they get it. They can meditate for like 10, 20, 30 minutes, but you still want to meditate. And if you're like me and you struggle with meditating, think about journaling. Words are powerful and you want to put them into existence. Same with meditation. Shakespeare said, what's on the screen of your mind is about what's to happen. So meditation, that's how I've learned. My meditation is actually visualization. I'm visualizing it into existence, but I also mix it up with journaling as well. Drink lots of water. If you ask any model, Naomi Campbell talks about it a lot. Water, why her skin looks like that. She's like, how to remain healthy. She's like, water. So drink lots of water. I know that's something that many of us know and don't do as much. And just try yoga or Pilates. Just try something where you've got that time that helps you to meditate. And maybe that's not your thing, but you're going to need to find your vice, because it's all very well me suggesting all these things and you've got influencers and people suggesting things, but it's got to be right for you. If something is like a drag or something is, you've got to force yourself to do it, that's not your thing. You're meant to enjoy self-care. Does that make sense? And I think there's this thing of doing things because they're the status quo, or that's what people do, or X, Y, and Z said it. You gotta do what's right for you. Self-care would feel like self-care, if you really want me to be honest with you, if you enjoy doing it. So try to stay away from things that you're forcing yourself to do. Like for me, I would just meditate for like 3-5 minutes, because anything for 10 minutes, it's now a struggle. It's a bit of a struggle for me. It's not meant to be a struggle. Make sense? So consistency matters. Consistency is the key. Consistency is a key to unlocking the full potential of your business. It helps you to create a solid foundation. It helps you to build trust with your clients. You want to stay focused and motivated. Staying focused and motivated is absolutely crucial. Go back to those SMART objectives in the beginning of today's masterclass. Staying focused and motivated is just crucial in cultivating consistency in business. Keep your goals in mind and stay committed to achieving them. Accountability is essential. Having accountability partners is essential in staying consistent, and that's what myself and my team are great at. We keep each other consistent. Makes sense? We keep each other grounded. We keep each other motivated, inspiring. And I think that's what a team is. Your partner should be an accountability partner. Your best friend can be an accountability partner. With accountability, Michelle Obama talks a lot about the kitchen table and having different characters around your kitchen table. And you want to make sure that you've got someone around your kitchen table that is holding you to be accountable, so you can keep pushing forward and getting those goals done. Okay, for me, my accountability, believe it or not, are people like, you're going to find it really bizarre, are people like Russell Brunson, are people like Digital Marketeer, they are people that build out funnels, have had success stories, give advice. They'll tell you what's worked, what hasn't worked. It doesn't make any sense, and that helps me do the same back in return. I feel like that educates me. I can, hold myself accountable just by growing in knowledge. So make sure you have your accountability partners. And business growth. Inconsistent branding can lead to confusion. And what I mean by that is, one of the things that breaks a lot of trust in people's businesses is branding. If you've got a target audience, you understand who your customer segments are within your audience. Okay, if you're constantly changing messages, constantly changing tactics, constantly changing what your product offering is, not being very clear on what you offer, you're breaking your brand. Messaging is so key. You don't understand the power of it. Think about when you see something, you think, oh my God, that's amazing. And all of a sudden you see a Gmail or Yahoo address. All of a sudden in the URL is another company name, or there's a percentage sign or mark. And you're thinking, oh my God, what's this whole long URL? Is this really the organization that I'm dealing with? So just remember that inconsistency within your business as well is what breaks people's trust, and it's also why people will tend to have that should I not. And make sure you keep listening and coming to these masterclasses. Do not forget the summit. We've got 100 masterclasses in 3 days, guys. Team, if you could just put a link in the chat about the summit. It's all around business growth. It's all around the areas we're discussing today, from business growth to finance to digitalization. But I don't think we understand how key branding is. For you to trust someone and for you to be able to buy with them, that trust comes from them seeing what you do on the internet, what you do on your socials, what you do on your website, what you do in any talks. And you need to be consistent with it. If you're not consistent, someone would think, why should I use you? Consistency is absolutely key. Okay, and if you want to learn more about consistency, about building funnels, about how to grow relationships online, along with all the mindset stuff like what we've looked at today, please come to the summit. We have scouted globally and we've got some of the best talents turning up on a virtual summit for 3 days, from the 25th to the 27th of March. And we are running 100 masterclasses over those days, over an array of topics. Okay, and I'm actually going to be doing one all around how you really level up and you get a thriving business with customers. I've been working on this all year and I'm literally it's like unleash the beast. I can't actually wait to deliver it. Okay, so if you don't know about the summit, you haven't heard about the summit, please use the link that's been put in the chat, and please make sure you share as well. Okay, please make sure you share it. And I've got a little surprise at the end of this presentation for anybody that feels like they've got a really big story or something to share that they feel that would benefit others. For International Women's Month, it's not just one day, ladies, it's the whole month. I want to give away a speaker slot, and someone that really, wants to have a voice, wants to have a platform, wants to build themselves up, wants to get their name out there. I really want to be able to feature them in the summit, so we'll be giving away a speaker slot. So make sure you watch out for that. So as we start coming to an end, personal development is key. Growth mindset. Having a growth mindset just means embracing challenges and seeing failures as opportunities to learn and grow. When you believe that you can always improve, you're more likely to take risks and try new things, leading to personal and professional development. I'm one all for growth mindset. I'm always pushing myself. I don't ever think I'll ever accept myself as an expert, because I'm always going to be a learner. I'm always going to want to grow. I'm always going to want to know more. And I think especially in this digital world, you have to have a growth mindset. We've had the most advancements since 2017. In the 1950s, they released a television, and a television set went out globally, and people had access to broadcasting from just one channel in their television, where they could watch the news, hear about updates, and it connected us globally. In 2025, we now walk around, since 2017 in fact, we now walk around with that TV as our own personal identification, and we carry it everywhere we go. We have to grow in mindset, because if we don't, there are too many things that will hold us down and hold us back, especially as Black women and women of colour. Okay, the system's been designed to hold us down, so we have to grow beyond that and really understand our potential, and really be able to understand how do we level up, have high vibration, and rise over a mindset that's been forced on us for thousands of years. So growth mindset is really, really key. Okay, but when you're growing yourself every day, it requires building good habits. Habits are the foundation of your life. They're what you do every day that shapes you, into who you are and who you're going to become. And there's always going to keep being a new version of yourself. Even when people say, so what was it like back then? Sometimes in my head, I think, I don't know, because I'm not even there. I don't even recognize that girl. I want to be this girl and I want to keep getting better. So habits are the foundation of your life. They're what you do every day, and they're going to shape you. Learn new things, to grow, especially in this digital world and technology. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you can use a smartphone, you can use Word, and you can use Excel. Trust me when I say you can learn new things. I think technology is a big barrier for some people. And even out of technology, just having more confidence in yourself, putting yourself out there. If someone doesn't like what you've got to say, guess what? they ain't your audience. Simple as. So learn new things, grow to keep learning. Learning stimulates the brain. It helps you stay curious, and it keeps you engaged with the world around you. It keeps you sane, knowing that you have a voice and your voice matters. Okay, being grateful, gratitude is so important. It helps you focus on what you have. Sometimes, because of this microwave world and Instagram world of wanting everything straight away, I almost feel like it's a strategy placed on society to stop us from being grateful. Sometimes you've got to remember what you do have and think cup half full. The man who's got no legs always going to look at the man with no foot and be envious. Okay, so gratitude helps. Focus on what you have instead of what you don't have. It helps to cultivate a positive outlook on life and keep that high vibration I'm talking about. And develop self-awareness skills. Learn how to read a room and read people. Okay, so knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Understanding your strengths, weaknesses, values, and your personality, and loving you for all your perfections and imperfections just helps you grow as a person. And also accepting people, being more accepting of others, in your life, strengths and weaknesses and values, and learning how to value those yourself. When you value yourself, it's easier to also value other people. And I always say to women as well, especially black women, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace, man. We can't keep being perfect every hour, second of the day, year in, year out. It's a lot. So, just personal development aspects, planning's really key. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. Even though, your plan never goes according to plan, you can pivot. Creativity, just having that space to be able to be creative within yourself and just be your authentic self, and not people telling you what you look like to the world and society, and just being creative enough to be able to express yourself in the way that you feel fit. Just having that learner's mentality and keeping in that learner's mode. Making sure that you've got your goals and you're working towards them. Little by little, you build your power. Staying motivated, inspired. Make sure you check out our podcast. Make sure you log on to our YouTube channel. That's why I created the podcast. It's just to keep you inspired and motivated. And whatever inspires you or motivates you. Like I said, when I've got that down day, Sounds of Blackness, Terry Garman's coming out. Okay. Music's really powerful. And training. I'm always this year, I just recently came back from Las Vegas to a conference called Funnel Hacking Live, making sure that I'm staying ahead of trends, making sure that I'm doing what I need to do and grow my business, and I'm helping the women in my community also be able to grow their businesses online and digitally. So, educating yourself is really, really key. And lastly, just build a strong community. Okay, that's what Women in Digital Business is all about. Alone, we can do little. Together, we can do so much. This community, I'm going to build it to 1 million plus. And what we're going to do is love each other. We're going to achieve together. And the more people that come in means that we've all got an audience to sell to. Who needs my services might not need yours, vice versa. It's a bit like when everybody's got a pot of food. Someone puts the carrots in, someone puts the potatoes in, someone's got the celery, and we end up making a nice, rich stew. And that's what Women in Digital Business is all about. It's about us coming together to love, support, be one another's cheerleaders, and to be able to create change within our own life and our own legacy, and do it together. You're going to be able to do so much more. So in terms of building a community, isolation rates, did you know 88% of women entrepreneurs feel isolated in their business? It's a really lonely journey. And this community is there to take some of that loneliness away and find someone that you can maybe bounce off of, get an accountability partner. Engagement, joining communities can increase engagement by a whopping 65%. And sometimes the reason why I created this community, ladies, if you want me to be honest with you, I've been had coaches, I've been part of communities, and they've been absolutely amazing for my growth, and I've absolutely loved it. But sometimes what I've had missing is that sister that can understand culturally what I've been through, or what I'm feeling, or what I'm going through. Makes sense? And that's why I felt like it was important to have a community for Black women and women of colour. That doesn't mean to say that your businesses have to only sell to Black women or Black people, by the way. This is a network that's going to help you build up your business strategically, tell you the things that, you don't know, because for many of us, entrepreneurialism wasn't a part of our blueprint, but also just have women that we can really relate to. So 90% of women business owners lean on each other for support. Okay, so there's reliance on communities. So thank you for taking part today in our Lunch and Learn. We've just got to pretty much just after 1 o'clock. I really hope that you enjoyed this session. Please make sure you check the summit out. The links are in the chat. And before you go as well, I just want to give you the opportunity, if you're a speaker, if you're a consultant, if you know that you do something, you've got a gift that God's given to you and you can change people's lives, and you know that by telling your story or delivering a masterclass is going to make a big impact, and you're also struggling to get onto a platform where you can do that, I want to offer you a speaker slot. Okay, so the team is going to put a link in the chat, and please just apply and we will come back to you. The summit happens on the 25th, 26th and 27th. You can pre-record your masterclass. You haven't got to worry about, oh my God, I'm going live. What's going to happen if I mess up? You can pre-record it, have something really impactful, and we're going to be having a platform. At the minute, we've got YouTube ads going out. We've got LinkedIn ads going out. Make sure you're following us on socials. We've been making a lot of noise about this summit, okay? And I want to give someone that opportunity and have that platform. So the links are in the chat. So please do make sure that if you feel like you've got a story, if you feel like you've got benefit, make sure you use that last link in the chat, which is the free spot for speakers that I've just seen the team put in there. Thank you, Cynthia. That's really nice. Thank you. The replay is going to be available on their YouTube channel, so it will go out to our list. Miriam, thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you haven't got a ticket to the summit, that 90% is coming off soon. We've done that to make it affordable to all our audiences in Africa, Asia, the Caribbean. We want to make sure the affordability is there. Okay. So check out all the links. I look forward to seeing you again next week, Tuesday. It's 1:03. I'm going to let you go. I hope you've really enjoyed that. God bless. Take care. It was great to hang out with you. Have I got any questions? No, but a lot of comments saying thank you, and right back at you. I'm going to get the heart in there properly. Yay! Right back at everyone. So thank you, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you next week, Tuesday. Thank you, guys.